Hey folks, if you're watching this, it means you are preparing for the police recruitment process, or you might actually be in the police recruitment process. And one of the things that you're going to have to manage, depending on the force, is the final interview. Or for some forces, they'll do a in-force interview before the National Assessment Centre or the day one. So today we're in York. My name is Brendan, I'm from Bluelight, and over the past several years I've been coaching and supporting people for the police recruitment process. Over 4,000 people have been successful as a result of my support. Probably a good 25% plus of all police officers who join now come through Bluelight. And every day I get messages from people telling me about their success. And this is how we do it. This is the hard work that's needed to prepare for the final interview. Just finished a day of coaching with a remarkable young woman who is going to completely nail it. I'm absolutely sure she's going to nail the interview because she's putting the hard work in. She's preparing for the recruitment final interview, but she's not just reading books and working out what she's going to say. She's putting the hard work into practice, but also to come up with examples to answer these questions that have no cliches in them. Listen folks, some of the advice about there about just using some of the phrases from the competency framework, and honestly, some of the model answers I've seen are just awful. I used to do this interviewing, and I know people who do the interviewing, and they despair at the standard of some of the answers that are just terrible, full of cliches. The interviewers are just going to tune out. At this point, they want to get a feel for who you are. They want to get a feel for who the true, authentic, and a real and emotional you is. There's no way around it, folks. No way around it. I've just had a message today from someone who said that they were successful at the final interview and they were told there and then. And they were also told that it was one of the most high-scoring interviews they've done all week. This is a force that takes between 1 and 2 weeks to notify you whether they've been successful, and they were told there and then. And the way to do it is to nail the true you, the authentic and emotional and real you. There's no way around it, folks. So this is how we do it. I'm not going to go into all of this. We haven't got time on this video. And besides, some of this is really, you know, it says a lot about the values of the individual. So you can probably read some of the questions that you're likely to get asked, and this individual is preparing for the Gloucestershire Constabulary. But one of the questions that's highly likely to be asked is, why do you want to be a police officer, why Gloucestershire? Or it might be, why do you want to be a police officer in Gloucestershire? And so we've got to work out our why. And I want to share this with you today because this is an amazing story. Initially, my client just came up with a load of cliched nonsense, putting something back into the community, helping people. It's a great role with so many different diverse areas that you can go into. I'm sorry, but totally boring. And so one of the questions I asked her was why. I call this the 7 steps of why, because invariably it takes about 7 or 8 steps before we get to the real reason why being a police officer is so important to you. So I start off with that. And you might want to try this. Get one of your loved ones to try this with you. Why is being a police officer so important to you? What a tough question to ask. Why is being a police officer so important to you? And then the answers she gave bordered on the cliche-ridden, so I'll just repeat that cliche back and say, yes, but why is that so important to you? Why is it so important to you that you exhibit putting something back into the community as a police officer? Why is that important to you? And what tends to happen when I do this is it's people that find it hard to lose the cliche that they think the interviewers want to hear. Until we got to the point where she said, self-worth. And I thought, now we're getting something, because this is something about what's in the heart, self-worth. And I asked for an example of when feeling like you have worth, feeling like you have value, feeling like you've achieved something happened. And she gave this remarkable story about how she climbed a mountain with a group of friends to watch the sunrise while on holiday abroad. And how halfway up, she almost gave up. And it would have been easy to do so. and no one would have criticised her for doing so. But she wanted to achieve something. And so she got some support from others. And then she offered support to others who were struggling later on in the climb. And eventually they got to the top of the mountain, where she saw the sunrise. We spoke a lot about it, about how she felt, what inspired her, how things inspired her, and how she felt when she got to the top, a sense of achievement, that sense of self-worth. We also talked about the guide who helped the group up the mountain, and how the guide, although the guide had led them up, didn't take any credit for it, and complimented them all on how well they'd done, how each one of them had done so incredibly well. So then we looked at that story and looked at how it's a great metaphor for what the Chief Constable and Police and Crime Commissioner for Gloucestershire stand for in terms of their culture. What do they stand for, what's important to them, and what do the constables, she's already spoken to constables, she's been out and spoken to real-life Gloucestershire constables about what they like, what they dislike. And one of the things that we spoke about that mountain climb was about enabling and supporting others, and having others believe in you to enable and support you, and that sense of team. And so much came out of our discussion about what was important to her, and how we could then compare that to what it'd be like to be a police officer, and the support that she could offer others, and how she could enable others to achieve things, both colleagues and members of the public. It was inspirational. You know, I wanted to make a video about it, so I asked permission, could I use this to make a video about this, and I've got the permission to do so. An incredible story. And what she's got now is this why. So she knows exactly why she wants to be a police officer. She knows exactly why Gloucestershire. She's got this incredible story to tell, and she's confident with it. And even if she isn't asked that question, she can introduce elements of the answer to that question to a range of other possible questions that she could get asked. And it's having that confidence to be able to answer that first question that's going to carry you through the rest of the interview. To provide the detail that's needed, the depth that's needed, to answer a range of questions, whether they be motivation ones like, why would you make a good police officer? What are the challenges that the force faces? How are you going to help the force meet those challenges? What values are important to you? Why are ethics so important to the police? And if these are the values that are important to you, tell me about a time when you've demonstrated those values. Tell me about a time when you've had to make a difficult decision, where you've had to account for that decision to others. Tell me about a time when you've had to work with others, or work in collaboration with others, to solve a problem. We had a great one there. She came up with a problem with someone else she worked in conjunction with to resolve that problem, but actually the way she resolved it actually caused another problem, which was far deeper and far more complex. And so that's going to be an amazing answer. I'm just hoping she gets asked that question. Tell me about a time when you've supported someone who felt as though they were in need. Give me an example of when you've dealt with some inappropriate behaviour or challenged inappropriate behaviour. She's going to do the police constable degree apprenticeship, so we talked about balance of your life, change, coping with change, resilience, and importantly the impact of being a police officer, not just missing parties and doing shifts and having restrictions on your life, but more than that. There's far more to it than just those obvious things, so we talked about that. I mean, what an amazing day. What an amazing day. And towards the end of it, I got messages from people who had been in exactly the same room just a few months ago. Like I said, one of them today got told, you've passed. We're going to tell you now you've passed. What an amazing, amazing message to get. And another one that's made me so proud, and if you're watching this, you know who you are. You've been in this room before. You've been in this room more than just once before. This is an individual who applied for one force and they didn't treat them very well. And they changed tack completely, applied to another force, and through all sorts of adversity has succeeded. And yesterday they were attested as a constable, and today I got sent a photograph with a lovely message in it. So you know who you are if you're watching this. I'm so proud of you as well. I'm so proud of you. Well done. You're going to have an amazing career. Amazing. So folks, I hope you got something out of this. I'm so excited about today. Today's just been an amazing day, an absolutely amazing day. Messages from people who have succeeded, helping to support someone who would succeed anyway, I think. But this has given them the absolute confidence to nail it on the day. I am absolutely convinced they're going to be successful, and I'm going to get similar messages from them to say, here I am with the Chief Constable at my attestation. That's why I do what I do. It's an absolute privilege to do this. It's an absolute honour to help support you to achieve your dreams. Thank you for giving me that privilege, all of you. And if you've got any questions, please do post them in the blurb below, whether this be on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or wherever it might be. And if you'd like to find out a little bit more about how to access those services, the seminars, the one-to-one coaching, the application form checking, the online courses, and particularly to join the Facebook group. Oh my goodness, how amazing is the Facebook group, the Bluelight Police Recruitment Facebook support group. It's got almost 9,000 members now. It's about 2 years old. 2 years ago I set it up with just one person, it was me. I invited someone else I know to join it just so I could have a group. And now almost 9,000 people supporting each other ethically through the police recruitment process. There's members of HR teams from police forces who actively support you in that group now. It's just become this amazing group, far beyond my dreams. So for all of you who are part of that group, thank you for keeping it as it is and for making it the amazing group it is. And if you'd like to join it, the link is below. Just click on the link, tell me why you want to join it, and I'll invite you to join it. So folks, until next time, I shall see you soon. I hope you got something out of this video. I'll catch up with you next time. Bye bye for now.